My name is Niyonsenga Barancille. It started with someone taking me. Usually, my home is in southern province, Gisagara district, that's my parents' home. I was born with many siblings, and my parents were poor. They didn't have enough finances to take all of us to school. So I dropped out and went to look for a job as a homemaid in Kigali to make a living. By getting where I worked, there was a woman who used to pass by in a car and greet me, but I didn't know her. After some days I met her when going grocery shopping. Then she asked me if I worked as a homemaid. I said yes. And then she asked me if she could find me a job that would earn me more money. As a person who worked for 12,000 Rwandan francs, nearly $12, I couldn't deny. And in fact, it was my first time hearing that people take other in Arabic countries for work. I didn't know anything about it. I gave her the phone numbers of my friend because I didn't have a phone by then. After a quiet few days, she called me and asked if she could start processing my traveling documents to where I would be paid millions. I asked her if it is millions in Rwandan francs or else. I hardly trusted her. Then she told me that if I get ready, I let her know. I immediately accepted. By then, I quit the current job because I couldn't keep working for 12,000 Rwandan francs when I had an offer of $1 million. I lied to my boss, telling her that there was an organization which is going to take me to school. The lady then bought me a phone to stay in touch with her. She then asked me if I can get some other ladies to take along with me. She asked me, like 10 others. I said no, because I thought that if I brought other people, I might lose the offer. She got me the traveling documents, and we went to Burundi. Arriving there, they took me to the hospital for a full body checkup. There were 6 other Burundian ladies there. After 3 weeks, on the 28th of December 2019, we went to Tanzania by passing through the shortcuts and illegal routes, waterways. We spent 3 days in Tanzania sleeping on the floor of the bus station, as I heard them saying. After some days, we traveled through an area called Bukoba, near Uganda. Getting in Uganda, they used to take us one by one. She was saying that we were many, and she couldn't take us all at once. After crossing, they took us to a hotel, bought us some food, and took us for a shower, and dressed us in the hijabs, saying that we have to look familiar like the people there. They again took us to the hospital for body checkups. Among all the other 6, some were positive for infections, blood pressure, and hepatitis B. We then remained 4 of us tested negative. They took us to live in someone's house with no food. Hunger almost killed us after spending 3 weeks eating beans. The headman was a driver. He used to come home late in the night. He used to tell me to go out with him to buy me food, and he wanted to take me to the nightclub. I refused because I didn't want to do anything wrong on my journey, thinking that I might crash on a plane. He wanted to rape us. We were then taken out of the room we stayed in and taken into the sitting room. He used to call me on the phone and ask me to go into his bedroom, but I refused. My friends used to tell me to go there to sleep with him so that we could get food. I replied to them that I didn't come to be a prostitute in Uganda. I didn't want to get infected with HIV, thinking that I might definitely lose the opportunity to go to work. After 3 weeks, we heard that our visas were approved, but only 2 of us were approved for the visa, mine, and for another lady's. We then moved that night in a car. They took us to the Ugandan bus station, waiting to go to Kenya. It was a long journey, which started at 5 a.m. Arriving in Kenya and getting off the bus was also tough. It was done using some body language signs. The driver seemed to know the deal. He used to drop us one by one, and then a car immediately picked us up. I immediately got scared. The car took us without knowing where we were headed. It then stopped underground at a certain building, which was a hidden place. My heart started to beat high and scared. By dropping us off, there was an Arabic lady called Mariam. There had been a wedding held there, and they then told her that the laborers were there. They were speaking Swahili, as I can understand it. They told her to bring us food. She brought us the leftovers from the wedding, rice mixed with bones, left salad, meat soup, and many more. There we found 2 other people, and they told us that they had spent 4 months without being approved for a visa. They told us that we were lucky. I thought of what would happen to me if I spent 4 months there, as I had gone without informing my parents where I was going. They took our passport photos and sent them to Saudi Arabia, and we were told that at 4 p.m. we would be headed to the airport. To get there, it was through illegal means. It was not a direct way. He had spent like almost an hour going around the airport without getting in, evading the police checkpoints by making turns. I then got more scared. Luckily, we got in. He gave me my passport, along with a flight ticket. He then pointed us to an officer to go for, saying that no questions would be asked of us, and no replies had to be given. We then got in, got checked, and were shown where to sit. Nothing much we did. The officer did it all for us. We then got on a plane to Saudi Arabia. It was a 4.5 hours journey from Kenya, I remember. I still have the flight ticket with me. We then landed, the fellow lady we were together with. Her boss immediately came for her. I stayed alone waiting, with no hope. I thought I would die from there. In the morning, a car came to pick me up, took me somewhere like a station. I couldn't read because it was all written in Arabic. I stayed there in a chair without eating and showering. In the morning, I was put in a car from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. In the car, I was along with Arabs with long beards, looking like killers. I couldn't communicate with them, and I was hungry. After a 6-hour drive, the driver told me by sign language to get out for food. He took me to a restaurant. They brought me potatoes and chicken with some chapati. I then went to the restroom, and I felt relaxed. We then continued the journey. We arrived at an office in an area called Tabuk. I waited, and they told me that my boss would come for me. There were Ugandan men working from that office who spoke Swahili. We then spoke and told me that I had to wait for my boss to take me to work. In the afternoon, an Arabic lady came, wearing hijabs. She had a photo of my passport on her phone. She showed me from her phone, and I agreed that it's me. I was put in a car and we left. She asked me what I wanted to eat. In my whole life, I had not eaten chicken and chips. That's all I wanted to taste. She bought it for me along with juice. I ate and drank, and she took me. At her home, there were a lot of children, seeing me. They ran away from me, asking what I was. They were wondering if I was an animal. I knew what they had said after learning some Arabic words. Then the lady came. She couldn't greet me. She instead looked pissed as if I was smelling. She then showed me the washroom saying that I smelled. I went to wash my body. She then came and smelled me and told me to go back to the washroom again. I washed my whole body with their soap. I came out again, but still, she looked pissed. Her children used to approach me, rub on my skin, and say that I was dirty. On that day, I showered 4 times. I was then brought to a room with a small space for a bench to fit in, with a very old mattress and an old bed sheet. It was in a store of old furniture. That's where I had to be sleeping. The next morning, the boss lady came and told me all the details of the job I had to do by sign language. She showed me all the rooms in the house. Their fridge had an alarm device, and when I touched it, it rang. I couldn't touch it to look for food. They'd come running to ask me who told me to open their fridge. I worked and got hungry, whenever I told her that I was hungry in English. She then replied that there was no food for me. They then showed me expired breads from the dustbin and told me that it was what I had to eat. That was what they used to feed their dogs and cats. I was very sad about that. They gave me a soap for washing my body, but the soap expired in 2010. It caused me skin infections and pimples. My skin became dirty due to those skin pimples. Always scrubbing my body. They used to cook and eat alone. I ate the leftovers on the dishes I used to wash and on the table. After a month, they gave me my phone to WhatsApp my family. My mom was very sick, so I asked them to give me money to send home, telling them that my mom was about to die. They didn't care. I then refused to do their work, and she then asked me for my sister's bank account details. They sent her 150,000 Rwandan francs, saying that that's my payment. I couldn't get sanitary pads. I was given or allowed anything. I had a small smartphone, which was taken away from me on arrival. I WhatsApped my home with her number. I told my elder sister to save the number and check on me to see if I was still alive. Their children used to go into their elder brother's safe and bring a gun. They used to point it at me. I was scared, wondering what if they shoot me. Meanwhile, I told my sister what I was going through. One day they brought a ladder for me to climb and cleaned the lamp on the ceiling. Electricity hit me, and I fell off the ladder, but they told me to go back up. I had to clean the ceiling, which had an electric shock, which was dangerous as I was wet. The next morning, she gave me my phone and connected me to the internet to talk to my family. That was after 4 months without salary. I talked to my friend, the one we came along with. She advised me to tell them to bring me back to the office, so that they change for me the boss. She also advised me not to give her back the phone. After a while, she came and asked for the phone. I refused to give it back. We were standing outside on the pavement. She then went on and called other people. They hit me badly on walls, kicked me hard. They finally hit me with the kid's toy on my back. I fell to the ground and fainted. That day I was kicked to death, but God protected me. Whenever I remember that day, I feel like it happened yesterday. I was hungry. The fridge was full of everything, but I couldn't touch anything. I had to clean the fridge with her around so that I couldn't touch anything. I couldn't lose weight or become thin because I always had to go into my room and pray to God. She had told me that she would be paying me after every 6 months. She then asked me why I couldn't lose weight while I wasn't eating. She told me all that in Arabic because I was good and fast at learning. I would listen to what she was saying. She then brought some chemicals and told me to drink them, saying that it reduces weight and that my weight was disturbing, smelling, and attracting flies. When I smelled them, they smelled like toilet cleaning chemicals. I refused to drink them. I lied to her that I had drunk it, but I didn't. Whenever I would be sleeping, she sometimes used to turn lights on me and ask me why I had removed the hijabs. The rule was to cover my whole body except for my eyes. She had warned me that whenever she would see me talking to her husband, she would kill me and tear me into parts and throw them apart. I had agreed on her rule of not talking to anyone in the neighborhood. I had to be covered everywhere I went. After some days, they locked me into a room and refused me to go out. I spent 2 days there. I had broken a glass and was told that it was equivalent to $300. Every time I had to break a glass, I was told that it was equivalent to my monthly salary. I had to stay patient to start over again, thinking that if I didn't break anything, they'd pay me. I had to wash many dishes from the morning standing. If I broke a small coffee glass, they'd cut my whole salary to zero. They used to bring me long, old clothes to put on whenever I pulled it up so as not to sweep the ground. She would abuse me, saying that I wanted to show off myself, and that nobody would be interested in seeing a gorilla. She used to say that blacks are dirty, that I won't get a husband, and many more. She had told me that I wouldn't ever go back home unless Allah, God, got me out of there. She said that she had bought me with her money equivalent to $5,000, and that I wouldn't go without working for it all. Whenever I told her that I was tired and sick, asking that she pay me a ticket to go back home, she replied that the ticket was $5,000, and that I hadn't worked for it all yet. My elder sister thought that I was dead. After a while, my mom knew that I was in an Arabic country, due to the history she knew. She was angry, saying that I was taken to the bastards. That was nearly a year. The story was told back at home that we were being fucked by dogs, which they didn't do to me. One day, the elder brother in the house gave me a cloth to iron. I didn't know how to iron. He then came and kicked me, poured water on me. He hit me with a glass and it cut me. I have a scar on my arm. They didn't take me to the hospital by then, but after 2 days, seeing that it was a big hurt, they took me to the hospital. They put me on a drip. After an hour on it, the boss lady ordered that I have to be taken back to work. My arm was swollen with a big wound. She then took me back and showed me what to do. There was a cord stick she used to hit me with, and used to hit me with it all over the body, saying that she would kill me. All I had to do was pray to God, asking him to take me back to Africa. I had no more energy. I was nearly dead. I once figured out that the headman didn't know anything about all that was done to me. One day I escaped and went to the police. The police called me, and they said that I was lying, saying that's African stupidity, and that I didn't want to work. They were speaking to the headman. They brought me back, and I was hit with 60 sticks by his son, who promised me that if he heard that I was escaping, he would kill me. I stayed there, as she used to lend me my phone. I talked to my friends, and they advised me to take it away and travel. But I wondered, what if they found me? They would immediately kill me, as Arabs have no jokes to people with dark skin. Their kids used to play on me, pulling my hair, cutting it with scissors, and sometimes wanted to cut my body. My boss had told me that if I touched any of her kids, she would kill me. They switched the room I stayed in and brought me outside to the house where their cat stayed. The place seemed nicer than where I stayed before. She said that I had to stay with cats because I was smelling. I couldn't wash myself. Whenever I was in periods, I had nothing to clean myself. Flies all over around me, and they said I was smelling for them. That was after 1 year and 6 months, without anything from them. I had spent a month without going to the restroom because I didn't eat anything. Even if I wanted to go there, I would not be capable because the dirty and expired bread had done bad to me. One day I woke up. It was after 1 year and 9 months. I refused to do anything, and I told her to kill me if she wanted, as I seemed dead. After she saw that, she couldn't take me back to the office as she knew that they would not give her another worker, as she treated them horribly. She decided to pay me 1 month. She gave me 900 Saudi Riyal, which was equivalent to 198,000 Rwandan francs. I told my sister not to touch the money, saying that they might need to buy a coffin for me. I thought that I would die from there. After some days, still in the same life, and that was like 2 months later, I escaped again. I went to the police and told them that I didn't want to go back there. They estimated the time I had spent working for them and said that they would be facing no loss. It was during the pandemic period when I started the process of going back home. They called my boss's son. He came along with his wife. They took me back to an area called Tabuk, as I worked from the area called Tema. They took me to hospital for a pandemic check. The daughter-in-law to my boss was a good person. She went to the market and bought me some clothes. She had also proposed to take me to her mother's, saying that she's different and a good person, but she was scared of bringing issues between families. They had introduced me to Islam. After a week of arrival, they burnt my Bible and said that they couldn't host a worker who was not a Muslim. No Bible was allowed. They said that Jesus doesn't exist, and many more. They said they only believe in Allah the God. I refused, and they also refused to serve me even those rotten breads they used to feed me. I started eating the leftovers whenever I washed the dishes. I spent 1 month like that, and finally, she said that she was going to introduce me by force. She took me into the room. She told me what to repeat. After that, I was a Muslim from then. Each morning at 5 a.m., I had to go with them for prayers. She used to teach me how to do so. I had to do it for me to stay alive. As the rain fell, others would go out in the rain, and she would call me too and tell me to go in the rain to tell my wishes to God. I used to have a headache, and they used to give me expired pills. Whenever I would be very sick, she used to tell one of her children to go and bring me Panadol pills. She had told me to drink them. They caused bad effects to me. I had to vomit, my body swollen, pimples everywhere, and many more. Whenever I would tell them that they gave me wrong pills, they would tell me that I have to take them or leave them, that nobody goes to hospital. She used to tell me that there were no other pills that I had to take except Panadol. Back to my journey back home. The daughter-in-law of my boss had bought me clothes and shoes that I had to take home with me. She told me that it was a gift she was giving me so that I could remember her from that. She also told me to pray for her because she couldn't give birth, saying that she never did anything wrong to anybody. She bought me many, many things and told me not to forget her. Arriving at the airport, they called the son of my boss and he told them not to take me away. He said that I had to be drowned. The daughter-in-law is the one who heard about that and told me that she is going to do her best to save me. She had to convince them to let me go. The next morning, I was taken to the airport along with my clothes. But the ladies were not allowed to get in the airport. When we got inside, the son of my boss took my bags away and told me to go, saying that I would find them ahead. Actually, he didn't want me to take them with me. He lied to me and told me to put a sign on my bag so that I would know it. Also, I missed the plane that had to take me back, and I spent 3 days there without eating. I saw a black guy there and told him that I was hungry. He then told me that nobody eats without working. He took me to the washrooms and I had to clean them. And he bought me chips and juice. After a few days, the boss's people came back with a new ticket and took me to the plant. The plane had to stop by Cairo. I searched for my bag and I couldn't find it. The police told me that it would get to me in Addis Ababa if they happened to see it. Arriving there, I still couldn't find it. I started to wonder about what I would put on. I was wearing a small, dirty dress and had already removed their hijabs.
byose mbirera mu gitambaro ubwo nageze muri Ethiopia bya byenda bari bampaye ndabijugunya maze kubijugunya sigana kagakanzu niko nasigaranye tugeze muri Ethiopia naho abagore mitambara n'abagore b'abanyarwanda bavuye kurangura.
In Ethiopia, I met Rwandan ladies coming from shopping abroad. I approached them and talked to them. They were coming from Rome. I told them my whole story and they were wondering how I would be coming from Saudi Arabia while dirty like that. They could not believe that I was coming from Saudi Arabia. I called my elder sister. I told her that I was coming, and she was surprised that I was still alive. We had to stay in Ethiopia, and we had to book a hotel. The charge was $70. The ladies had to lend me the money. And I told my sister to keep well the money I had sent her earlier back in Saudi Arabia, that she will pay back the ladies if we get to Kigali. The next morning, we went on a plane to Kanombe, Kigali International Airport. Arriving, my sister paid back the ladies their $70. We then went to Regional Hotel Nyamirambo, the cheapest hotel, which cost 40,000 Rwandan francs. I told my sister to come for me the next morning. I was not ready to go back home. I had thoughts of going to commit suicide in Nyabarongo River. And my sister had to tell me not to do so. I was worried about how I was transformed. I parted with my sister, and she was not financially able to host me. I told her that I was going to return back to the neighborhoods that I used to work from and see if I could get a job. I went to a restaurant in Kaimaranko. Arriving there, I saw a woman who had a restaurant, and I asked her for a job. She asked me if I was capable of working in a restaurant. I agreed. She then agreed to pay me 30,000 Rwandan francs. I couldn't return home. I was dirty, had no clothes, and was hopeless. She gave me the job, but on the condition of wearing short clothes. I told her that I didn't have any clothes with me. She agreed to give me a debt of 30,000 Rwandan francs for that first month so that I could buy some clothes, but on the same condition. She added that anyone who would touch me, I had to accept. I accepted because I wanted money. She bought me clothes, but she had a problem that I had a huge belly. But she kept me at work. Men from there used to touch me, but due to the mood I was in, I didn't want anyone to touch me. She then talked to me and told me that if I want a job, I have to accept the rules. The clients started to complain about me, that I am not beautiful. I am fat. Sheetha told me that her clients didn't like me. She then bought me a shapewear. But if it was so uncomfortable with me,
akahise arayinzanira ahindura akambwira ati rero ujye uyambara nibura ugaragaza shape uko usa neza nacyambaye iminsi ibiri nkumva kirampambira nkumva kiranjena nkumva noneho umugabo yagukora agashaka gukanda ku kibuno yarambwira ati ntuzajya wemera ko bakanda nagukanda ku kibuno akumva ko ari icya pirate agahita yigendera ubwo umugabo yankora nkamwitaza nararebye numva ibintu.
After 2 days, I quit because I couldn't keep working under the same conditions. I decided to move to the eastern province to start over. I didn't want to go back to the southern province because it was my home province. I certainly met an old lady and she hosted me. I used to help her with her farm work, but she told me to find something else to do so that I could get basic needs. The lady just wanted to take advantage of me, so I left. I then met another family that was happy for me in the neighborhood, and they hosted me. They told me that I could find a job to do while staying with them. But after getting back here, I heard that going to find a job in Arabic countries is very popular here in Rwanda. I heard many people saying that they are going to Oman, Qatar. I decided to find a reporter and make a broadcast with him, but I was shy because of my story. I went on Isimbi TV and I received many different feedback, positive and negative. Even the Rwanda Investigation Bureau asked me about it, and I gave them the whole story and details of it. I told all the people that I knew who used to deal with human trafficking. But I don't know whether they did an investigation or not, because I didn't want to get myself involved in that again. Some people approached me, trying to make me repeat the whole story for them, and reporters wanted to make a broadcast with me. But from Isimbi TV, I was very blessed from there, because different people sent me money, clothes, and much more. There's an old man from Australia who paid for me for the tailoring courses. But after 6 months, he told me that he was no longer capable due to his financial situation. I didn't go for internships, and that was worthless, but not the same as I would have stayed without any skills. Others sometimes sent me money to eat and buy some needs. My home, they are poor. They still can't support me. My dad is always sick, and I can't go back there to stress them as well. Sometimes people call me and tell me that I am dumb and stupid because I told my story. From then, I decided not to go back on social media. Because some of them would directly message me and abuse me, saying that I made it hard for them to move. I don't have as many friends as I had before. My life is not in good condition anymore because of how I was treated back there in Saudi Arabia. A week ago, I was in hospital for the whole week on a drip. My arm is disabled because it got broken. My body is not anymore functioning normally.
agateramo imisonga ukuboko hano mu gutya kukazambuka kukangiramo hano nkananirwa kugira ikintu nakora byo gufura bikananira kubera iki kubera ko ntabishoboye guhinga simbishoboye kubera akaboko nkavuga ni nibura mbonye nk'ikintu nakora basi kikanzamura naho ubundi umubiri wanjye ufite imvune nshobora kunama nkagutya ndi nko gukora ikintu umugongo ugahita umfata nkabikora nicaye barankubise bamereye nabi bamenye amazi ashyushye bagize gute banciriye mu maso mana we.
I am now afraid of all the Arabs coming for your invitation. I thought he was an Arab. Jeremiah, I would have returned immediately if I had found out that he was an Arab.
Hari igihe umutima wanjye mba numva nk'umutima ugiye nko kwibara nkamara nk'umwanya ntahumeka nkumva umwuka uranze kuzamuka kubera ko ibintu bankoreye uko ntekereje ukuntu bamfashe naho ibintu bankoreye.
I will never get over what they did to me. I am now 27 years old, but I am very disabled due to what they did to me.
Umukecuru w'imyaka 40 kubera iki baramugaje imbavu barazimennye kubera inkoni zabo.
Ihangane birumvikana kandi urakoze no kugerageza ukadusharinga ayo mateka
Ariko gusa abantu
All I can advise the youths here is to commit their energy to work, find something to do, and not run for going abroad, especially in Arabs where there is no life.
ubwo no gukora amaboko mu mufuka niba uri muzima utarwaye ugashaka icyo wakora kandi kujya guhungira mu Barabu hara ni mu muriro utazima hara si mu bantu ni mu bikoko je nibaza.
I sometimes wonder if it is God who created them. I think they came from elsewhere because they used to tell me that they had the right to kill me and nobody would rescue me from them. On the roads, whenever I meet an Arab, I run away. Before attending your invitation, I told Kevin that if it is anyhow related to Arabs, I won't come. He told me that it is not anyhow related to Arabs. Someone saw the broadcast on a certain channel, and he asked me to meet him in town to help me. I lied to him that I was not yet there, but to just see who he was first. In his car, there were whites sitting in. I am not sure if they were whites or Arabs. All I did was run away and block his number, so that he wouldn't talk to me again. I run whenever I see an Arab. They treated me badly and scared me to hell. All the difficulties in my life result from their actions. I constantly find myself taking pills because of the way they tortured me.
Akama igihumbi ariko kubona mpagaze gutya nirwa nsabiriza abantu wanguriye amavuta yo kwisiga wanguriye ku tegisi kandi ngiye rwose ibintu byo gusabiriza ndabyanga mba numva nakora nkigira mba numva afite umuhate wo kuba nagiye ikintu ariko mu buzima bukananira nta mezi 3 yashira mu rugo mba afite ibinini bigabanya ububabare buri munsi imisonga yo mu rubavu no mu mugongo mba afite amoxicilline buri munsi nizo mporaho za panzano na za ibuprofene kubera ibibazo. Isengeye cyane mbasha kujya kwikorera ntaho mba mbacumbitse mba numva ubuzima bwaranze.
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of all of us, myself and Green Lion Ministries. I'm very glad and happy that you came out today to share your story with us. It's a blessing. I'm glad that you're still here and you're alive and well with us now. Thank God. I thank God for your life and for your health, that you're in good health and able to come out. It's now such a blessing that you can be here with us and share your story with the world. I'm very, very honored. I know this was a very difficult story and to come out here and do this. So I thank you for your bravery, for giving your story, testimony. That's what we are here for, is to meet with people like you who are brave enough to come out here and meet with us, share your story, and we can help the others fight this and put an end to this. And we will never stop or give up. We'll always be here to help. You can always contact us anytime. We can talk and meet anytime. You can meet with Mimi if you like. You always have friends here. And again is very touching, and really sincerely mean that. Just glad that you're here now, and thank God, and just thank you for coming out. Just thank you.